Hi everyone, it's Karen and Alex with Karen's Stamping Place. And tonight we are going to show you a video. We're actually going to show you a card made with a cool sponging technique. We just used the blends and we sponged this wonderful background. I don't know, I'm trying to make it so you can see it really good. So we are going to show you how to do that and put this card together. So let me switch you down and we'll get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is get my stamping out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to stamp the embellishment or the flower that's on this. I am using Art Gallery stamp set. I just love this stamp set. It is just so much fun to use when doing two-step stamping. So the first thing I'm going to do is just ink up the first image in Magenta Madness ink.
And the flowers in it are just so pretty.
They really are. And then the next thing I'm going to do is ink up the one that fills it in, but I'm going to stamp off. Okay? And when I do that, that lightens it. And when we stamp over it, I'm going to show you how pretty that is. Look at that color. It's just gorgeous.
It is so pretty.
Okay, the next thing I'm going to do with Old Olive is stamp the stem.
Magenta Madness really does give it a bright.
Oh, it's so bright and
cheery
cheery, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are going to stamp the stem. Now I'm using a foam mat because I am using photopolymer stamps. So do remember that. Sometimes you can get a good image without, but for the most part, it's good to use the foam mat. Next, I'm going to stamp the sentiment. I've already cut this piece out. It's out of this stitched so sweetly dies.
Yeah, stitched so sweetly.
And I'm going to go ahead and open up my Magenta Madness again. Can you tell we're a little bit tired? It's kind of been a long day for us. And we're trying to get this video done, so forgive us if we make a few boo-boos here and there.
I really like this happy birthday.
Oh, it's kind of whimsical, isn't it? I mean, but it's pretty. All right, so I'm going to set those aside. And now I'm going to bring in my piece of Whisper White cardstock. And I have everything cut for you. So the card base, which is 5.5 by 8.5, is scored at 4 1/4, and that's out of Magenta Madness. Then I have a white layer that is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and then this layer that I'm going to do the sponging on is actually 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Okay, so the first color I'm going to sponge is the Magenta Madness. Now, one of the things I've done is I've taken my brushes, my blending brushes, and I have put like reds on one, yellows on another, green, purples. Anyways, that helps me to know what color to use. Now, I figure pinks can go with the reds. That's fine. But you want to ink it up and then tap it off onto something. Now, I use a clear block so that I can go back in and pick that ink up when I need it. So I'm going to take my blending brush and starting off the paper, I'm going to just slowly bring it onto the cardstock and just gently rub it. And then if I want to pick up some more ink, it's already there. And I can make a few darker spots and I can leave some lighter spots, which is what I want to do. And then I'm going to also bring it down just a little bit further. So just know when you're sponging, Alex and I always go with the less is more to start with. we really believe that just a light touch and then getting darker as you go is, excuse me, is the way to do it.
Because you can't take away color.
Right. We can add it. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to go down the side here a little bit. And then I'm going to bring in my next color, which is going to be Flirty Flamingo. Okay, so I'm just going to take my brush and just rub and rub and rub. And that'll get off most of the excess ink. Okay. And then we have room, or we have our Flirty Flamingo next. We have room. I'm going to take my block and I'm going to flip it because I just don't have a wipe to wipe it with right now. And I'm going to stamp off the excess ink, making sure that I'm getting the Flirty Flamingo on there. And I'm going to just start off the paper again and bring that slowly in. We kind of like the combination of the Flirty Flamingo and the Magenta Madness together. It just kind of looks really cool. Okay, so I won't use my ink pad this time, and I'll just go straight here because that has a lot of ink on it, and I can pick it up that way. And just remember to always start off your paper when doing this sponging.
It helps to prevent like the big like glops of color.
Exactly, yes. Which I am notorious for because I'm not patient. Alex is really good at it. She's patient. Me, not so much. Okay, so Alex went and got me a wipe, which is great. So I can wipe my block down. And then I can bring in my Daffodil Delight.
Here, use a tissue.
I know, I'm so afraid of getting these sponges. I'm going to go ahead and put my sponge into my jar. I showed you in the last video how I store my sponges. Okay, and I can tap off my Daffodil Delight on there. Now again, I'm just going to start off the paper and just bring it on the paper. Now I will make this a little bit darker, but you can see we're going to build that color up.
I really like blending them into the different colors because you come up with some new and interesting colors.
You do, don't you? It just, like, it turns it a little bit orange-ish.
It's really pretty.
Now I'm just going to pick the ink up there and just keep building my color till I get a desired color. And this one's actually darker than my others, so I think I'm going to leave it like that now. And I can wipe that block off and set it over there. Okay, so the next thing I did, now when I get this finished, you're not going to see like splotches. It's really going to bring it together. And if you want to bring it together more, you can just take your sponge that you used earlier with the Flirty Flamingo, and you can just kind of blend out some of those areas.
It really does soften the edges.
Because they do look a little blotchy, but look at how that just brings it together. And it's not so blotchy anymore. Okay, but the next step is going to really bring it together. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my die cut and emboss machine.
Ooh, the big one.
The big one.
The big boss.
And what we're going to do is we are going to emboss this piece that we just did. We are using, now I'm not going to remember, the painted.
It is the
Painted.
It will be put in here. It is the I think it's the painted.
We're great at remembering names. I didn't label that one. Shame on me.
I got out of it. Let me go back.
I know it's.
I think it's the textured painted or
Painted texture?
Something like that.
Okay.
I'll look it up.
Okay. So wait till you see what this does to this. Look at that. It kind of looks so fluffy, like whipped cream almost. I just love how that turns out. And it doesn't look blotchy anymore. It looks beautiful.
Painted Texture 3D Embossing Folder.
That's the name of it. Okay, now I'm gonna bring in my magnetic plate with a clear plate, and I'm going to cut some dies, or I'm gonna cut some stamped images with my dies, I should say. And it's just a matter of lining them up where you want them. Okay. Oh, they're moving just ever so slightly. Line this one up.
And if you want the links to anything that we used, they're in the description box below.
Thank you, Alex, for saying that. Yes, dimensions are over on my blog, which is linked in there, I'm sure. Because we did do a blog post about this. And then they're probably also, okay. So I know Alex is amazing at doing my blog post and filling in all the information we need for this. Okay, so I have those cut out. All right, sentiment's done. I'm gonna put the die cut machine away. I love how that just snaps up there and stays together. It takes up so little space. I have it on a shelf right next to me. It's just the perfect size.
It really does fit in that shelf.
It
nicely.
does. Okay, so I'm just going to throw my card together now. It's all done. So I'm just going to put some Stampin' Seal on the back. And it really didn't take any time at all, I'll have you know. You think this is a long process, but it's truly not.
Mm-mm. And blending is fun, so
It really
it can be very
is.
meditative.
It just goes together so fast, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I just love doing that sponging.
And this is a great way to practice too. If you're not, if you're a beginner at blending
Uh-huh.
with any type of brushes or the daubers or anything, because it gives you a chance to blend with the colors.
Sure. And it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've got that together. I'm going to go ahead and put this piece that we stamped earlier down with dimensionals.
And you can really do whatever color combo you want.
Oh my goodness. I can just think of blues
Right.
and browns. Oh my goodness. Wouldn't browns be beautiful?
Yeah, for like an old-fashioned type of card.
Right, for a vintage card.
Yeah.
Oh, I can just picture that in my mind. Now, Alex and I did a card last week using the blending brushes. So that's why this is part 2. And I am doing a 4-part series. So next week, you'll see another technique done with them. And then one more after that. So make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so that you can see the see what's coming in the future, because you don't want to miss those other videos that we're doing.
Yeah, the projects are really fun.
They really are. And actually, I'm going to have Alex do one of the videos. What am I looking for? I'm going to use, no, I'm going to use glue on this one, the Tombow, because I'm really not going to use that much. So I'm going to use just a little bit on the leaf here, if it'll come out for me. And up this stem just a little bit. Oy. Oh, I hate when it does that. It had an air bubble.
And it does it on a video.
I know, right?
It always happens.
So that's okay. I have a wipe here. And so with that wipe, I can just kind of spread it around. And then we'll just lay it down right here next to the happy birthday. And then to finish off our card, we're going to use the beautiful opal rounds. Oh, Alex and I are just in love with these opal rounds.
And they really do like pick up the color.
Yeah, any color you're using, they seem to pick it up really well. I guess that's because they're clear.
Or like the shimmery parts in it, you know?
Yeah.
Like the pinks pull out more of the pinks that are in it.
Okay. So there we go. We have both of our cards done.
Oh, that's pretty.
And so this one is just a tad dark. I love how I combine the colors a little bit more in this one.
Mm-hmm. And it's subtle and bright.
Yes, so much. Well, we thank you guys for joining us tonight. We will be live next week and showcasing our next card in the sponging series. I couldn't think of a word for it. So remember, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of them, and hit that notifications bell. Thank you all so